Hello guys, very nice to be recording a video for our lovely Kesenia's Guiding Star channel again. So by the time you're watching this video, you surely have celebrated your Christmas and New Year, and I'm wishing you all the very best. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season, and that for many of you, I don't know, maybe your dreams have come true, maybe you were witnesses to some Christmas miracles and so on. For others, maybe you just had a chance to see your families and to unwind and just to forget about work and just have a normal people holidays, like, you know, with lots of food and just lots of chilled out moments with your beloved ones. And for those of you who are probably not in the best place by the end of 2021, and we have absolutely nothing against it, because no one is a very good place. Like, we have been seeing the world struggling to survive for the past 2 years. And essentially, like, you know, regardless of where you find yourself, I'm just here to wish you all the very best and to pull a few cards as a general reading for 2021. So for some of you who have been probably watching my videos on this channel before, my name is Ksenia. I just happen to have the same name as Ksenia Moore, the owner of this channel. And yeah, I used to be doing like regular tarot card readings on the YouTube, and I'm so forever grateful to all of you who are following those videos and who are supporting me and what I'm doing in comments. That was really extremely priceless and precious for me, and many of you I got to know through emails and through readings, and thank you for being with me. I hope to probably be back this year. It's just that life interfered and I kind of wasn't able to record the videos on bi-weekly basis. I moved houses, other things happened, and so I really apologize for those who were worrying and who were trying to stay in touch via emails and so on. That was really priceless. So for now, for old people who know me and for the new people, I still work at Ksenia Moore's Guiding Star channel as a tarot reader. You can find my page at the description box down below. If you like the style, how I do readings, if you resonate with my energy, please feel free to order a reading through the website, and I will contact you in no time and we will see what we can do together. And last but not least, for the new year 2022, we are running a promotion for 12 card reading, which is a big tarot reading for the year to come. I do those readings personally for myself every year. You can do those readings usually either if you follow the calendar year for the months of January, and then the 12 card reading would read like from January to December of the same year, or you can also relate this reading to your birthday. My birthday is in January. I'm Capricorn Sun, so for me I do it in January anyway, and it kind of overlaps with my personal solar return and the new year. But look, depends how it would work for you. But for the whole month of January we are running this promotion, and what it essentially is that I pull the 12 cards and we would be seeing the main events, themes, topics to meditate upon, to contemplate, to pay attention to for your personal year to come. So if you're interested, please again follow the link in the description box down below, and I will be happy to do a reading for you. And this being said, I decided I will pull 6 cards. I will pull 3 oracle cards and 3 tarot cards, just mostly because it's just fun, guys. It's fun. It's mostly fun. It's a general, very short video. It's more like a greeting card. It's more like a postcard, virtual video postcard from me to you, because look, we cannot really aspire that 6 cards would cover the lives of all the people, and of the planet. But in general, what I wanted to say is that I find it really well working. Let's put it this way. I wouldn't give, like, you know, words like important or something. Well working for the people to have those kind of readings and thoughts, especially over the new year, because the new year, whether we like it or not, whether we follow this calendar, whether for us, like, I don't know, the new year it's more like solstice or spring equinox, it doesn't matter. As a collective, we have the need to have this moment of the year when we will look back at the time and summarize. And for those of us who kind of follow a more conscious way of living, this is probably quite a regular exercise, you know. I know lots of people who are doing diaries, who are journaling, who are in general very self-conscious, who are reflective of their actions, of the consequences of those actions, who are trying to see patterns in their lives to connect all the dots. Majority of people don't do it, let's face it, yeah? And so it's important that we still have those points of the year where, like, you know, we feel like the time grows old and then the time is renewed, the time is being reborn. That's what essentially the new year is. It is a very deep archetype that we need at least once a year, this point, this focal point, that we feel that the time is renewed, that the time is kind of reset, as if it is a watch or a clock, like, you know. That's how we function. This is a very important seasonal ritual which has been in different, like with humanity, with different tribes, traditions, customs for forever. And so it is truly important that we give ourselves this very important time to look back and reset our personal watch. You know, that those like tradition that everyone laughs at, the so-called New Year resolutions, that everyone writes a list and then everyone forgets about them. But nonetheless, it is very important to have a look at where we are and what we are striving to achieve, what we have achieved, where we have failed. So I would strongly encourage you to do something like this, to do some sort of appreciation, nonetheless, appreciation for the 2021 and some sort of welcoming for the 2022. What I personally think of 2022, I think that I somehow feel it that it's going to be an easy year. I also think that probably, I'm trying not to be projecting, but I think that although lots of people grew very tired of the situation where we are worldwide, at the same time, probably we have already come up with some sort of coping mechanism for this. And the three cards I pull, I will show you all of three of them. It is the Queen of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and the Hanged Man. And from three cards we have two major arcana, which is not bad. We usually kind of consider the importance of the reading by the number of major and minor arcanas we have, by the balance. The more major arcanas we have, the more kind of like life-changing and important the reading is. This reading, it is funny enough that it starts with two female archetypes. It starts with Queen of Pentacles, which is very much related to the archetype of the major arcana of the Empress card. Empress card, it is Venus, it is Mother Nature, it is the motherly archetype of a woman. It represents female fertility, which is, like, you know, archetypically related also to fertility of the soil, to fertility of our projects, you know, to basically the fertility of body and mind. Queen of Pentacles, she represents Mother Nature herself. You see, the phone doesn't want to focus. I'm terribly sorry for that. But you see that she is like, her figure, you cannot really dissolve her figure from the tree. Her throne is made of the tree. Her, like, she has sort of like shield or a sigil of her reign, which is made of crystals. She holds a baby deer in her lap. She's surrounded by plants. It's lush, it's green. So the first meaning of Queen of Pentacles is actually, I think, is a message it is important to repeat, and although it is banal, it is valid for 2022 as it is valid for every year. Queen of Pentacles, because she's Mother Nature, she represents a very conscious way of living in harmony with the natural world. And this is not, I would say, in my opinion, speaking in terms of mythological consciousness, it's not as banal as it may seem. It's not a kind of like, you know, Green Party message I'm trying to convey here, although it is in a way. It is like, you know, what invokes me here, it is this very deep belief that microcosm, which is represented by our bodies, is related to macrocosm. That's pretty much the universal law of hermeneutic, of like, you know, of those, like, I don't know how it's called in English, sorry, kind of those hermetic studies, yeah, occult studies, that, you know, as within so without, and so on. But the fact is that we see it in many ways reflected in different myths in Egypt, for example, or in ancient Ireland, that especially people vested with power, but in general everybody, you take part of the cosmic cycle. And if you want to call it a butterfly effect, I would call it a butterfly effect in relation to this particular issue, is that the way you feel, the way you behave, the way you think, it affects the whole world. It kind of has such a massive impact on the way the planet is functioning, the nature is functioning. So it is not, the Queen of Pentacles, she's not only about recycling your plastic, you know, she's not only about gardening, although she's very much about all of it. She's very much about self-sustainable lifestyle, you know. It's kind of even tiny things, you know, kind of we were recently talking with my partner, and we were like, okay, kind of like, we will do in our house this kind of very old school thing. We got, like, you know, the old school boiler, like, you know, kettle, not the electric kettle which is made of plastic, but like the old one with a whistle, you know. Little things, like, you know, really little things. And then you can that you would be growing your vegetables, or that you would be, I don't know, recycling clothes properly, or not just buying fast fashion. It is all those things. So it is all very practical. Queen of Pentacles, Pentacles is this use of a coin, yeah. So it represents the material world. Queen of Pentacles, she is also Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. So she's related to Earth. She's related to how we actually function, how we function on this Earth. So it is all those things. And now that we are facing so many, like, you know, so many kind of catastrophes all over the world, you know, you kind of open your feed and it is always like, you know, some oil spill, or something is burning, and something, and species are disappearing. You might want to consider, in line with this, to actually get the approach to a more conscious life. I don't know, adopt an animal. Adopt, I don't know, or give donations to some bigger companies, I don't know, who collect plastic on the beaches, or just not necessarily give your coins to them, but like, I don't know, just go and clean the forest next to where you live, like, you know, take care of your area, or like, you know, support some local coffee shop, like, you know. So it is kind of, it is local patriotism, being proud of your little garden and taking care of this. And this is not only, as I said, these are not only those banal metaphors. It is also related to the fact that those tiny actions, they impact the whole world, you know. There is no need to be thinking that what I'm doing is not valuable. There is a very deep balance between all of us. And I mentioned briefly, like, the Egyptian religion. The Egyptian religion was very important concept for it was the principle of the Egyptian goddess, embodied by the Egyptian goddess Maat, whose name meant the truth. And what it meant is that she was reigning the cosmic cycles, the seasons, the movement of the planets and stars in the sky, but also all the bodily cycles, all the kind of like cycles of behavior, and so on and so on. And the idea was that why you need to live according to the truth, according to Maat, as an individual, is because the whole world is rotating, the whole world is functioning according to the principle of Maat. This is the moral imperative, speaking in the terms of Immanuel Kant. This is the moral kind of like, yeah, the moral force, the power which is inherent to all human beings and all phenomena in the world. And so hence, if you fail Maat, it would cause the domino effect. That's a very much simplification of how it worked. But just to give you an idea that it's not, I think, occasional that garden has been a metaphor for the soul for so long. When Voltaire, when it was a kind of image used during the epoch of enlightenment, that you should work in your garden. That was meant that you should kind of take care of your soul. And this is also how it can be taken, because I told that Queen of Pentacles, she's Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, but as a Virgo, it's very much about serving others, you know. It is about being grounded and being attentive to people around you. And how you do it through, first of all, taking care of your own garden. The garden has been, again, a metaphor for the soul for ages. So, like, you know, hence there are lots of like borderline practices, you know, like the Japanese art of the garden, you know, those tiny gardens. Like, I mean, you know, you can buy even a kit when you can do like all the stones and everything. But that's exactly the case. It is some sort of like, you know, it is a spiritual practice to work in the garden. So the Queen of Pentacles message here is really varied, versatile, but nonetheless it is all connected. You start working in your own garden of your soul, and then, like, you know, you spread this attentive attitude towards everything, towards yourself, towards what you put inside your body. You spread it outside, you know. That's how you eventually end up being a more harmonious person, and with this, a more highly conscious, operating at a higher level of consciousness, which would you, when you reach this level, it's impossible to stay kind of, what's the word, kind of imparted, sort of inattentive, or not giving to the problems of the environment, to the problems of species with whom we are sharing this planet, because it all comes from the inside. And that's kind of the message of the High Priestess. High Priestess, we start with the Venusian female archetype, and then we end up with second female archetype, with a very cold female archetype of a witch. In the archetype of a witch, it is not about the mother-daughter relationship as within Venus, within Emperor. It's not about fertility of the body. The archetype of the witch, it is more like the infertile woman. So the woman which not necessarily would have children, but which lives in the sisterhood, you know. So there's a more like horizontal social relationship more than vertical ones. And here we speak not of the fertility of the body, but more about the depth of the soul. The High Priestess, she's very much related to the moon. She's related to the moon as a planet. She's related to Cancer, to Pisces. She's very much related to water signs. And that's not a surprise, because the year 2022 astrologically is very watery. You know that Pisces is activated, Scorpio is activated, but for those, please go and listen to videos of Ksenia on this channel and other amazing astrologists. But the energy nonetheless is watery, and the High Priestess, she's like this cold water, like a refreshing shower, and at the same time she's the depth. She's the depths of the pool. She's the depths of the subconscious. She's very scorpionic, especially in this deck. You see how dark she is, that her, I hope you would be able to see it. If not, I am going to describe it to you now. What is on the background, you can see only those kind of star-like rays, but in fact it is a web, and a spider web. And the spider web embodies exactly the same idea, that everything is connected. Queen of Pentacles provides more like connection on the body levels. And the High Priestess, she represents high mind connection. She represents telepathy. She represents empathy. She represents feeling what other people are experiencing, being there for them. She obviously represents the hidden knowledge and uncovered secrets, because she has access to them. She represents all the occult learning and neglecting the bodily part for the sake of learning the truth of the soul. So those two, they kind of represent not the conflict, but more like the two sides of the same coin. So this is your woman, and that's her alter ego. This is like, you know, the darker part of your soul. This is like, you know, the spiritual you. So both are important. We're getting again this how to say, this message. But then again, I feel like I'm a big advocate of this, and it surprises me that apparently it's not clear for many people still. You're free to choose your path. We are given here two paths. You can be absolutely anywhere you want. It's like, you know, if the society has been telling you to live your life this and this, that's absolutely not the case. You can choose this path, or you can choose those paths. The two queens, they kind of represent, the queen and the priestess, they represent the pluralism of options. And when we are now in the 2022, and you know, many were thinking that exactly a year ago on December 2020, yeah, just before the new year 2022, there was this great conjunction on Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, and many people were saying, oh, kind of the age of Aquarius is starting. But the age of Aquarius is exactly about this. It's about the pluralism of options. It's about the right to choose your path. The High Priestess also represents secrets unveiled. And this might be very true of you, and especially, as I said, with kind of Pisces activated, with all those dreamy, watery signs being big players astrologically during this year. Many of you might really kind of get deeper into kind of being in touch with your intuition, with your dreams. Many of you would probably open up for some sort of, like, you know, meditation, some more like alternative practices. And by those I mean not future telling, because I'm never tired to express that tarot, at least I don't see it as a future telling device, more that the images work with us through archetypes, helping us to develop our creative thinking. And through creative thinking, we just realize that we open doors in our mind. We can see the things for ourselves. We are not fooled by our fears, by our, like, you know, anxieties. And the High Priestess, she represents this, the harnessing of the darkness within you. And especially, I think that while we are as a collective going through what we have been going for 2 years, it's been such an intense shadow work for many people, because many people were deprived from the normal lifestyle. Many people were facing lots of fears, fear of death, of like disease and so on, fear of solitude, loneliness, being like forgotten and stuff. Whether we want it or not, we are given this trial, and the only thing we can do is to master shadow work. The High Priestess is the master of the shadow work. Keep going. And our last card, the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is a deeply spiritual card. In this deck, you can see, it is some Indian god. I don't remember which one is the blue one, because, you know, they are all avatars of each other. So, like, there is kind of 100 of gods, but then you read, oh, this one is avatar. So they're all realizations of the same. I don't remember who is the blue one. Is it Krishna? Sorry for that. But you see that the Hanged Man, he's pretty much like all of us. The Hanged Man represents, on the one hand, extremely uncomfortable situation. The situation in which your feet touch not the ground and your head is not in the sky. You're all turned upside down. It is uncomfortable because, like, we are meant to have something we can lean upon. We are meant to have ground under our feet, you know? And this is uncomfortable. Imagine yourself hanging like this. It's truly uncomfortable. But this card, it has a very big message of hope. It is enlightenment through discomfort. It is the discomfort, but at the same time, what happens when we do this? We reverse our point of view. We reverse. If I'm like this, you know, I do yoga, you know, kind of, and you know, the headstand, yeah? The headstand asana. If you do yoga, you know what I'm talking about. You see the world upside down. You see the world topsy-turvy, yeah? This card represents what it is spiritually. Yes, it is sometimes very uncomfortable to be in Sirsasana, I think it is called, this asana, in the headstand pose. But on the same hand, we change the perspective. And that's what it is. It is the enlightenment through discomfort. And we see that this god in this picture, actually, instead of kind of not touching the ground, he touches the lotus instead. The lotus flower in, you know, in Indian tradition represents enlightenment. It is the flower of Buddha. And he himself, like, you know, you see there is a glow around his head. It means, again, it means that his channels were open. He's like, you know, his mind was open. He can see things which he was not able to see unless he was hanged that way. And I like this message. What I want to take you from this card as a message for 2022, as I said, don't take this reading very serious. It's more like a message of hope. And the small postcard, well, not that small, I'm talking for 25 minutes already, but nonetheless, it is enlightenment through discomfort. Although we were turned this way collectively, we were turned 180 degrees. We changed through this. We probably realized some truths that otherwise would not know about us. And keep going. And this is your message of hope. Enlightenment through discomfort. Hope of understanding yourself better after going through a trial. And ultimately that's how it works, because unless we are going through a trial while we are in our comfort zone, we are absolutely not, I would say, in the position of evolving. That's how we are as humans. We start evolving when we are uncomfortable. We are trying to find the way out. And through this, we have a chance to better understand ourselves, especially when our intuition is attuned. So yeah, exactly, like, you can just be hanging there and complaining. This will not lead you anywhere. It is when the intuition is attuned and the high priestess is your intuition that you get this. You get your enlightenment through discomfort. So hang on with it. Like, it couldn't last forever. We will get through it together. Just let's be kind to each other in the meantime. Let's take care of Earth. Let's take care of animals around us. Let's take care of the garden of our soul. Let's dig it deeper and embrace the high priestess archetype, so that through the moments of loss, of sometimes despair, of discomfort, we might reach enlightenment. And I hope that so it will be. I will also use the Peace Oracle, this one, because I love the art in it. I think it is very uplifting, and I just want to have like 2 cards from this deck as a keywords for this year. Oh, it's so beautiful, the cards that we got. We got persistence. That's exactly it. And ingenuity. Look at how beautiful the art is. Persistence and ingenuity, those are the keywords for 2022 that I got, and I think it very much sums up the message which we had in tarot, especially with the Hanged One. The Hanged One, the Hanged Man, is your persistence, and the High Priestess is your ingenuity, because it's a woman with no bullshit. I want to also get a card from the Sufi Wisdom Oracle, and then we'll have a look at how they work together. And then we'll have 6 cards, yeah? And I told you that 6 cards, the numeric value of 2022, it's 2 plus 2 plus 2, yeah, so it's 6. And in relation to tarot, it is a good card, because it is a good number, because number 6 in tarot, the major arcana, number 6, it is Lovers. It's the Lovers card. The Lovers card, it is astrologically Gemini. So it is, those are all things very harmoniously connected. Very much the yin and yang balance, the very balanced number, the balance of the soulmate energy, of divine partnerships, of love, and of marriage, but not in terms of man and woman, this as well, but also in terms of more like harmony in communication, Gemini, yeah, harmony in intellectual ways, in the way how we interact with each other. Yeah, and the beautiful Sufi Wisdom Oracle is free will. Free will, get out of your cocoon. And I think this is very much how the cards work together. I don't think that in terms of what we're going through, it is the end yet. We can see that it's not the end whatsoever so far. Yeah, we still striving to kind of coexist with this thing. Just hold on a little bit longer. You will need all your persistence. I'm with many of you who don't have any persistence by now, like, you know, it's been 2 years. You would tell me, which persistence are you talking about? We're sick of this. Hold on a little bit longer. This persistence is actually the key to what I was talking about. Like, you know, when you don't give up, when you discover in you the strengths you didn't know you were capable of, when you discover in you the kindness you didn't know you were capable of, then, like, you know, then you truly evolve. So we will again demonstrate the deeds of resilience. So persist whatever difficulties happen in your life, and don't let this betray you, because what is very important, I think, is when the world is in turmoil around you, it's important at least to have peace within you. So with the just persistence and ingenuity, follow this path. Ingenuity, for me, it is very much like the High Priestess and the Queen of Pentacles we got in the tarot cards. It is not lying to yourself and the others, acknowledging that when it is hard, when it is beautiful, and taking the maximum of everything, like, you know, taking the maximum of all the moments, just living through them with full giving all of you to the moment. If you're in pain, be in pain. If you are in love, be in love. If you are happy, be happy. If you are in joy, be in joy. There is nothing should really hold you back. And please don't let anyone tell you how you're going to live this life. For me, ingenuity, maybe because I'm not a native speaker, maybe I understand the world wrongly, but please forget me. But for me, ingenuity, first and foremost, it is being faithful to yourself. It is being genuine with yourself. It is knowing what your desires are, what you want, and going for it. And if it doesn't happen, just be resilient, and it will. We really need all our strengths again to go through this year, and it's not going to be covered in roses and butterflies, but with the persistence and ingenuity you will get through it. And I really very much love the last card about the free will. Get out of your cocoon. I think that free will is such an amazingly important concept that we do not talk enough, because free will, it is what differs us from like animals. It is what differs us from, if we look at the Judeo-Christian tradition, it is what differs us from angels. You know that God created angels, then God created human, and angels bowed. Yeah, and I think it's in the book of Genesis. Angels bowed to Adam. To Adam means the man. Yeah, so basically they bowed to the human because they don't have free will, and the man has. Free will is important, and sometimes we feel that we do not have this free will. But this is an illusion. We are created with this. This is what really makes us different from other life forms. And with this free will, again, I think I talked about it briefly because it's never enough to talk about. It's such a big topic that we can break through if we believe in ourselves, if we take a chance to step out of the relationships that no longer serve us, of the fears, anxieties, if we just realize persistence and ingenuity. If I follow my path, I'm protecting it. Nothing bad can happen to me. It's like, you know, I will give maybe very traumatic, like, you know, example of something. I wouldn't use bad words, but the thing is that I will speak from my experience, yeah? That the fear, for example, of leaving an abusive relationship or like not necessarily physically abusive, but like the ones that don't serve you well and so on. You're like, oh, like I will be alone, and even like tiny things who would open my jar of like, you know, marmalade or something. Like you're full of anxieties and fears, and you like, you know, because you're like, oh, I will be alone, how will I cope with loneliness, blah blah blah, maybe it's better like this. And we're stuck in many situations, not only about relationship but also like with work, yeah, that I will lose my financial security if I would like to pursue my dreams and open my own enterprise, for example, you know. But like, at least allow yourself to think of it. Don't close those windows and opportunities for you. If you feel adventurous, I don't ask you to be hot-headed. That's like, okay, like, you know, I'm leaving my job tomorrow because I'm gonna open my online shop. No, you do your research. You see, like, if you're capable of doing this, if this would work, if there is audience for it, and so on. But nonetheless, allow yourself to dream about it. Allow yourself to think about it. You have the free will. And so basically, I think the biggest trick of this world is that we are tricked, that we're stuck, so many times stuck in bad situations, stuck at, like, you know, things that don't serve us well. But in fact, it just requires, yes, a lot of work, a lot of internal work, of persistence and ingenuity. But then, like, you know, when you're ready to make the step out, you make the step out. And usually this book, I would like to read you from this book because I think it has very beautiful text and also has poetry. So what it says for our free will, get out of your cocoon. It is, because it's called Sufi Wisdom Oracle, it contains usually a poem from one of the Sufi masters. And here we have a poem of the Sufi poet Saadi. Deep in the sea are riches beyond compare, but if you seek safety, it is on the shore. My dear friend, you're living in a time when many new experiences, opportunities, energies, and growth possibilities are available to you. Staying too long within the limits of what is perceived as safe grounds breeds weariness. The only way to participate in the new is to get out of the routine of all energies and pathways. The Oracle has a great message for you. The secrets of the kingdom are deep within you. The treasures of your own potential are just waiting to enrich the experiences of your life. If you're reluctant to try something new or hesitant to take a risk, you will be left on the shore and miss the fun of being creative and developing your abilities. Circling around using the same process and getting the same results means you're just repeating an old pattern. Simply change your intention to focus on where you would truly like to go in your life. Sufi wisdom is about surrendering with joy and trusting that you will land safely where you're focusing. Making changes can help you reach your goals and work past anxieties and grow as a result. So pretty much, I would say this all wraps it up. When the most important task we have on this earth is to kind of coincide with our destiny. Because our destiny can be like, and we are like, oh, I will just stuck here with the work I hate, and the man who is all right, but like, you know, or the woman who is all right, and like, you know, or I will just give birth to 5 kids because my mother and my aunties want me to, but I don't want to be a mother. I want to be, I don't know, a rock star or something. But I will just go there because that's what feels safe. That's what the society demands. That's how my ancestors used to live. At the same time, your destiny is like la 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 la, and it is a task to basically coincide with your destiny, to call it whatever you want, fulfill your purpose, I don't know, find your purpose, and so on. But it's not the matter of terms, and words are failing us. When we're speaking of such matters, words are failing us. The difference is that you understand what I'm talking about. We all know what it means. We all know what it means to be in the source, in the flow. What are those like fashionable terms to call it? It doesn't matter how you call it. It only means that it's important to find it. It's important to find your meaning to yourself. And we continue on this path together. And I really love those 2 cards with persistence and ingenuity. And that's what I wish you for 2022. And thank you for staying with me till the end of this video. It turned out to be much longer than I thought it will be. But look, hope it was useful. As I said, it is by no means any big, like, you know, predictions for 2022. It is more like, you know, my way of saying you Happy New Year. And may it bring you new things, and may it open for you the new possibilities. And even if it is a tiny corner of your soul, like this, like this, like this, if it is something new that you open inside of you, that's amazing. That's amazing. So happy meeting yourself. Happy new encounters with yourself in 2022. And if you ever would like a tarot reading to help you on your journey, again, look in the description box down below. I'm leaving you with all my love. That was one ugly heart. Like this. Okay, guys, it was nice to talk to you, even with this little video. And see you soon, hopefully. Bye.